Hello, everybody. I'm CJ Miller. I'm outside of my apartment in downtown Shreveport, Louisiana. Across the horizon there, right across from that skyline, is the Red River, and just across from that is beautiful Bossier City, Louisiana. Come check us out, Northwest Louisiana. Lots of fun things to do, lots of things for every taste. If you come see us and you don't think you're finding anything that suits you, get in touch with me. I will figure something out. You will be entertained. Okay, so um, I'm making my late night supper. I'm a very nocturnal person, and yeah, so it's about 11:30 a.m. I'm getting my meals ready for tomorrow. Come check it out. You're gonna like this. Okay, what's going on in here? Basically, St. Louis ribs that I have in a dredging. And it doesn't matter which flour that you use. I just happen to have self-rising on hand, but you can use all-purpose or any other type of flour that suits you. The flour is heavily mixed with cumin, curry powder, sage, a little bit of Old Bay seasoning, just anything that suits you. But and it was dredged, and then we're doing it a quick browning in this oil. Now we're not actually cooking the rib; we're just browning it. Once we get it browned, then I'm fixing to give this a turn real quick. I'm gonna be careful dealing with oil because oil will send you to the hospital. As a matter of fact, let me pause this, flip it, and I'll come back. So here we go. We want to get this really good crispiness on the outside of these ribs, okay? And we can see there's already a roux starting to develop, but we're gonna create a roux after we get this sizzled up. I've already got one over here draining, and I've got this going, and then I've got another piece, and it only takes a few minutes on each side. So I'll see you after the click for the next portion of what we're going to do here, and you're going to love it. It is a little time consuming. It's going to take a good hour or so. Really, this is one of the things that the longer you can let cook, the longer that you can let slow cook in the sauce, the better. And St. Louis style ribs, you really want to, because they're not quite as tender as the baby back ribs. They are equally as delicious when you powerhouse them with flavor like this. And this really isn't so much about getting a crust or crispiness. This really is just about getting flavor stuck to these ribs. And a good way to do that is to bind it with some flour. And I'm dredging it in this pan. It's that simple. As I have this in there, then I have I have the next rib. I'm about to flip it, and just let it sit on each side for a few minutes, and that flour mixture kind of clings and binds to the meat, ready to go. So I'll see you after the click. So while that final piece is in here, it's a good time to wipe down your surfaces in your kitchen, and remember always washing your hands just to stay sanitary while you're in the kitchen, and clean as you go always. You'd be surprised how easy it is to keep the kitchen clean when you clean a little bit as you go each time. It's almost time to flip this last piece of rib though, so I'll see you after the click when it's turned. And I'm going to add right now, just because this is primarily a meat product, I'm not going to say this is a keto friendly meal, because I am coating these with large amounts of flour, and there's probably a little bit more flour clinging than say a piece of chicken or something like that, because of all the different folds and everything. So and it's certainly not heart healthy, because this is a cut of rib pork rib that has a lot of fat pieces, even though a lot of that's going to render off when we cook, but a lot of it's going to get sealed in because of the coating here. But we're almost ready to start with the roux. We've already got a decent roux kind of building on the bottom, but the whole idea is to maybe add a little bit more, kind of thicken this up a little bit, and get a good sauce going for these ribs. And I'm going to take a shortcut because I'm going to combine a red sauce, what that typically you would think of as a spaghetti sauce or a marinara sauce, but I'm going to combine it with the really, really dark brown roux that I'm going to make. And that's going to be the base of the sauce for these because it will have a little zip of the tomato, but it's going to have that roux, and yeah, it's just a very, well, you could really call it, it's not really a barbecue at all, but it certainly is in the vein of French cooking, which, a lot of stovetop cooking and braising and everything in French cooking, but tomato being one of the mother sauces in French cooking that often gets married with the roux. We have 5 mother sauces in French cooking, and then we also have a white roux and or a light roux and a dark roux that we can use to thicken those sauces with. So, stay with me and see what happens. All right, so can you see how dark this roux is? What I've done is I added just some of the coating that mixture that I talked about, and because the pan was already hot and the oil was in there hot and everything, it really didn't take that long for this floury roux to become dark, and we want that. We want a dark roux. The darker we can get it, really without burning, we want it as dark as we can get it. And this is probably a little bit too much oil if you were going to make like a gravy, because it would separate. But it's going to be okay because we're actually doing something different, a different type of gravy, where we're going to take a marinara, your favorite kind, whatever, the whole jar. This is something that my father used to call primatade, where he would take like a brown roux, and I don't know if he made the gravy and then mixed it, or if he poured the tomato sauce directly into his brown roux. But the mixture of the brown roux and the gravy, the red tomato gravy. Some people call it tomato gravy, but basically it's the roux, and you're mixing it with the marinara sauce thoroughly, and then we're going to add some water to thin this out. Or you can use a broth, chicken broth or something like that, beef stock, pork, bouillon, whatever. But this is it's what my father would have called when he did his cooking, and there are many different names for it, but he called his a primatade, the blending of tomato and brown roux. I used to watch him do this all the time. I'm sure he did it vastly different than what I'm doing, but we're going to use this as the sauce that we're going to slow cook these ribs in, because right now they're not really cooked. They're coated with the dark coating. I would say lightly coated. They're lightly coated at high temperature to get this dark coating right here, but it's really going to soak up this sauce. But we need to add water. We need to get this thinned out. I'm going to just use the water poured into this same jar. Slowly drizzle it. Anytime you're cooking with temperature, oh no, I lost my fork. Well, you don't want to reach in and grab that with your fingers, because you may not think this is hot because it's not bubbly, but it is. But it's okay. I've got other utensils. Hang on. Well, you know, my doctor, he's always after me to get a little bit more metal into my diet. Uh, I'm not sure this is what he meant. I think he meant taking some D3 vitamin. But, you know, whatever. Okay. This is okay. I'm going to add a little bit more water, though, because when I put this, I want it thick like this. And that's good. That is good. But I want it thick, but I want to start it thinner, and then as it cooks, it can thicken up around these ribs. And the pork is going to give it a lot more flavor too. Okay, so I did decide to add some granulated garlic just to finish off the garlic that I had. I put some in the potato side dish that I'm going to be making, some of the garlic, but I also put a little bit of kitchen bouquet to tone down that bright red because it's got a caramel color, and so I wanted it more of a brown kind of a sauce like this. And that kitchen bouquet will do it. It will tone down any of your bright reds, and it will give a flavor of the aromatics, you know. And you will get the benefit of, we talked about the other day, flavonoids, which are not necessarily what gives a vegetable, an aromatic vegetable, its flavor, but it has health benefits. That is damn good. Okay, so it's ready for me to put these ribs in. So it's taken about half an hour for the breading, another 5 or 10 minutes to do the sauce to get it ready like this. And so we're going to take our ribs. All three of them can just stack in here, all three of these. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. Hang on. So just stack them, you know, the three cuts, just stack them. You're going to, every once in a while, come around and you'll move these around, so they're going to get thoroughly covered anyway. You'll put the lid on, you'll turn it down to medium, somewhere between, let's see, on a degree that I have a setting of 10, I'm going to go to probably my 4 setting, which is in between my medium and my medium low. It's halfway in between that. It's say at the 7 o'clock position on the clock. That's where my dial is, because we want to cook this slow. This is going to be at least an hour. At least an hour. But in the meantime, I've got my side dish set up, ready to go, and I'm going to start on that. I can do that, prepare it, and have it ready and waiting. It'll be fine. Okay, so always taking care of the surfaces. And be careful not to bump in and burn your knuckles or anything as you're cleaning. But you always want to wipe down as you go. And this is what we're starting out with. I haven't turned the burner on yet. I just drained in 2 cans of sliced potatoes, and I put in that blend that I put in sometime last week. Hang on, I got water going back here. Let me turn that off. All right, so 2 cans with the juice, and then I've added some of the Trinity mix, the chopped vegetables that I bought and used in a jambalaya. Yeah, well, I put some of those in here along with a little of that granulated garlic, and so this is just going to sit on a slow cooking, slow heat. I'm going to go to my 9 o'clock position, and I'm going to let this slowly come up to temperature. No need to rush this. The ribs aren't going to be ready for another hour, so I definitely can take my time with this. When this gets a little bit more warmed up and done, and right before I'm ready to serve it, I'm going to put a little bit of butter and a little bit of cheese. Just any kind of cheese that you have on hand will work. I've got a little Swiss cheese, and I've got a little smoked Gouda, and that the combination of those two are gonna blend well and make a lovely cheese sauce. And it's great. If you want to add a little salt and pepper, you can. Maybe I'll toss in a little red pepper flake. Hang on, why not? You know, I'm always searching for something to brand myself with if I'm going to do something. And I think what I'm going to start doing is, I think I figured out what I am. I think I am the impetuous cook. What that means is I don't mind looking over and seeing what's in my spice rack and then saying, oh yes, okay. Oh, perhaps that's a little much. That's okay. Because I'll just take some of this off and put it in the rib. The ribs, it's not like they couldn't stand a little bit of heat. But I didn't, put my clean fingers in here and dipped out some of these spices. But I didn't touch anything else. And I just kind of like put it into the ribs and everything's clean. I wouldn't, I would recommend being a little careful so you could do less of that. But this is going to cook very well. I'm not too worried about germs or anything like that. Oh my God, that is so redneck. Just grab the spice and put it in the other pot. But that's literally what I did. And there's, it's not too much. It's going to be fun. Plus the creaminess of the cheese and butter is going to tone down a little of the heat. And some of that heat is going to be over in this sauce right here. Not too much, but over time the steeping is going to get a little bit of a bite, which was something that kind of was lacking in that. So that's a spicy rib. It's a spicy pork rib. Okay, let me stir this up. And I'm sorry for that very rustic handling of this spice. That's a good reason why it's a good lesson for me to share that I just learned. A reminder: it's great to take things, especially like a dried seasoning or herb or something, and pour it into the palm of my hand so I can get a better measurement. Because yes, too much can actually accidentally spill into the pot, and I would have more control if I actually pour it in my hand, or God forbid, a measuring spoon. But yeah, that is what I'm going to call myself, the impetuous cook. And I just exemplified why. The impetuous cook or the impetuous chef? Well, chef almost sounds more professional, and I'm not a professional anymore. So I'm just going to call myself the impetuous cook when I'm doing this. So yeah, when I do cooking videos, it's going to be about, I'll label it when I know that it's specifically about this. So yeah, you're here at the dawning of that personality that I'm going to work on when I'm in the kitchen. But anyway, love and light, and sit tight. And I like the assonance. So I'm going to say the impetuous chef, not to be grandiose and think that I'm a chef or anything, even though I have been, but basically because the assonance, so it rolls off the tongue a little better. The impetuous chef. So, just so we can, let me turn this on for a second. There is a range light. Oh, there we go, surface light. Okay, we want to keep us going around this light simmer, and then we want to take these ribs stacked 3 planks deep. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to call this a plank of ribs. I don't know what they're officially called when you cut off part of a slab, or half slab or whatever, but I'm going to say a plank of ribs. That's my word. Whatever. I'm impetuous, right? The impetuous chef. I decided the impetuous chef. Sounds nice. Somewhat poetic. Okay, so anyway, maybe I'll do a cookbook or something one day. What would you guys think? Would you like maybe it's like me? We'd love to see you do a cookbook, but maybe you ought to learn how to cook first. That probably be what I would tell myself if I were sending in comments. But anyway, it's really this is really coming together. I'm gonna every 20 to 30 minutes come over and move these ribs around. I'm about to do that now. And do not forget to grab these ribs that were sitting on the bottom. Move those around too. Bring them back up to the top. Let everything get a chance to get some even temperature all over. About every 30 minutes. And then after about an hour and a half, these should be well enough to start eating if you didn't mind them being a little bit tougher. But the longer you let them go, the better and the more tender they will be. And eventually you could let these go and they would just fall off the bone, and then you'd have a nice, saucy pork that you could just do a lot of things with. So, it just depends upon where you want to go with it. So here we have 2 cans of sliced potatoes. Your favorite brand would work. The Trinity, which is celery, onion, bell pepper. I put in some granulated garlic and some red pepper flakes, some sliced Swiss cheese that I've torn apart, so Swiss cheese, and then smoked Gouda, to your taste and to your liking. And then I'm going to give this a stir and continue to slowly cook this. Oh, there's a little bit of butter in here, probably an eighth of a stick of butter, not very much. But yeah, probably about 4 or 5 decent spreads of butter. Just, for flavor's sake. As I'm stirring this, observe that there is still the liquid from the cans of potatoes that's gonna, act as a, the cheeses are gonna kind of cook into this and smooth out. And then as it thickens, it's going to be a nice cheesy sauce. As cheese is going to melt and become one with the liquid and thicken it up. And yeah, we're going to get a nice, good distribution of the cheese. And if you need to, add more cheese, But God, this is going to be delicious.